To all South Africans, we have a story to tell you today, a story about an idea. A word you've heard in the news, whispered in political debates, a word that for many is just a sound, a distant concept. That word is Sharia. But what if that word stopped being distant? What if it wasn't something that just happened in Iran or Afghanistan, but right here, in South African homes and courtrooms? I want you to pause for a moment. Look around you. Think about your daughter, your sister, your wife. Think about your son. Think about the life you've built, with all its struggles and its triumphs. Now, I want you to imagine a different South Africa, and I need you to listen, not with fear, but with the courage to understand what is at stake. This isn't just about politics. This is about people. It's about the braai in your backyard, the glass of wine in your hand, the freedom to love who you choose, to worship how you choose, to build a business and leave an inheritance for your children as you see fit. The research we're drawing from today paints a picture of Sharia that is complex, but we must focus on what it means in practice, in the places where it is the law of the land. Think Iran, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, the list goes on, and maybe, just maybe, South Africa. So, let's strip away the academic language and talk plainly. Sharia, in its fully implemented form, is not just a personal moral code. It becomes the state's legal system, and its sources are divine texts from 7th century Arabia, the Quran and the Hadith, the sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad, compiled years after his death like a long game of telephone across the centuries. Now, imagine that becoming the foundation for the Constitution of South Africa. Imagine scholarly interpretations of these ancient texts overriding our hard-won Bill of Rights. Let's get specific. Let's talk about your family. Under Sharia-based family law, your daughter's legal testimony in a court of law could be considered worth half that of a man's. Think about that. A case of assault, a business dispute. Her word literally halved in value because of her gender. Inheritance? That house your parents worked their whole lives for? Under these rules, a son would inherit a share equal to that of 2 daughters. It's justified by the man's financial responsibility, but is that the future you want for your girls? To be institutionally diminished before they even begin? And for our women, the impact is profound. The concept of marital rape, a hard-fought legal victory for women's dignity, may not exist. Why? Because consent is seen as a perpetual part of the marriage contract. A husband, according to some interpretations, is permitted to discipline his wife for disobedience. Let that sink in. We're talking about a legal framework that could sanction the physical chastisement of women within marriage. And the marriage itself? Following the example of the Prophet, some schools of Sharia law allow for child marriage. The protection of our children, the absolute sanctity of childhood, could be reinterpreted through a lens we simply cannot recognize. And then, there are the punishments, the hudud. The ones we see on the news and shake our heads at thinking, that could never be us. Theft, amputation of the hand. Not in some barbaric dark age, but in modern nations that enforce this code. It's there. Adultery? For a married person, the punishment can be death by stoning. Stoning. A brutal, agonizing death in a public square. The standard of evidence is high. 4 male eyewitnesses to the act itself, making it rare, but the law itself, the law holds that possibility. It hangs in the air. And perhaps one of the most chilling aspects for a nation built on freedom of conscience, the crime of apostasy, leaving the faith. In several countries that fully implement Sharia, the punishment for turning away from Islam is death. Death for a change of heart, death for a personal belief. This stands in direct, violent opposition to our constitutional right to freedom of religion, to freedom of thought. Imagine a South Africa where your neighbor, your colleague, your friend could face a death sentence for their private spiritual journey. This isn't a hypothetical, it is the reality for millions living under these systems right now. Now you might be thinking, this is alarmist. This could never happen here. And I hear you. Our democracy is strong. But ideas have power. And we must look at the global landscape with clear eyes. There is a dangerous, confusing alliance forming in the world. An alliance between radical Islamists and factions of the far left in the West. It's a paradox that should shock every South African who believes in equality and freedom. How can those who champion women's rights and personal liberty find common cause with regimes that systematically oppress women, that deny basic freedoms? We saw it during the Woman, Life, Freedom protests in Iran. Brave women burning their headscarves, demanding the very freedoms we hold dear. And yet, the voices of support from certain quarters were muted, hesitant. Conversely, we see open support for regimes like Iran's from the same groups that protest for social justice here in South Africa. This is a historical pattern. Look at the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The Islamists and the leftists joined hands to topple the Shah. And what happened once the Shah was gone? The Islamists turned on their leftist allies, hunted them down, and eliminated them. They were used as useful idiots, a temporary tool to be discarded once their purpose was served. This is the game, and it is being played on a global chessboard, with the lives and freedoms of ordinary people as the pieces. We in South Africa, with our complex history and our fragile, beautiful democracy, cannot afford to be naive. We cannot be the next pawns in this game. This report is not an attack on our Muslim neighbors. This is about the political ideology of Islamism, which seeks to merge mosque and state into a single theocratic entity. This is a warning to every South African of every race, every creed, to our white compatriots who have built livelihoods and legacies in this land. Imagine that legacy subject to laws where your lifestyle, your freedoms, your very safety could be criminalized. To our black brothers and sisters who fought a long and bitter struggle for equality and dignity, imagine a new system of inequality based not on race, but on religion and gender, being layered upon the old wounds. This is not the future we fought for. This is not the South Africa of Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. This is not the nation of Bryce and Ubuntu. So, what do? We do not meet this challenge with hate or with fear. We meet it with clear-eyed knowledge. We meet it with unwavering courage. We meet it with a fierce, unyielding love for this country and for the freedoms we have all fought for and for which so many have bled. Together, we must never, ever let go of this nation we call home. Let us be unequivocal. Sharia law has no place in South Africa. This is a moment that demands we lay down all our differences of every form, color, race, gender, and political ideology to form a united front. We must stand together to ensure that we stop anything and any resemblance of anything that might seek to turn our beloved South Africa into a Sharia-controlled Islamic state or anything even close to that. No ways, not here, not ever. For this cause alone, let us unite. Let us be vigilant and snip this threat in the bud right now, in this moment. For a stitch in time saves 9. Let us protect our future together. We start by sharing this video. We start by talking about this openly and honestly around the dinner table, in the taxi, on the factory floor. We cannot be silent. We must look at the world and see it for what it is, not for what we wish it to be. Your voice matters. Your understanding is our first and greatest defense. If this report has stirred something in you, if you feel that flicker of conviction, then I am asking you to act. Please like this video. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this is important, that South Africans need to hear this. Subscribe to this channel. We are committed to bringing you the stories that matter, the truths that are often uncomfortable, but are necessary for our survival. Share this video on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on X.com. Send it to your friends, your family. Start the conversation. We cannot afford to be in the dark. And if you are able, and if you believe in the mission of this channel to speak truth with courage and heart, please consider supporting us further. Join the channel membership or donate via the Super Thanks button. Every single rand helps. It helps us ensure that the voices of all South Africans are heard, that our stories are told, and that our future remains our own. The future of South Africa is not yet written. Let's write it together with our eyes wide open.